Hi everyone, welcome to Be an Artist. I'm here today with Jonas Nermyr, festival director of the Stockholm Tap Festival and tap dancer. Hi Jonas, how are you?
I am good. I had a bath and my breakfast slash lunch, so I'm all good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
How you doing? Like Joe in France.
um, I know you from the Stockholm Tap Festival. But how did you start tap dancing?
I found tap because of the Lindy Hop and swing dancing, because that was my first dance when I was a little kid, like 9, 10 years old. Started with Lindy Hop and all the swing dances, Charleston, Big Apple, Black Bottom, authentic jazz, and then tap is not far away because of how closely connected it is historically.
There seems to be a big swing dancing community in Sweden.
Yeah, it's pretty huge.
How come, do you know?
Well, it happened as so, or what do you say in English? No, but like when the swing revival happened, and it's like same as the tap revival. It was never dead. It was just not in the spotlight, and at least not globally. But it was a strong Lindy Hop community in New York. But then globally, there was a few people who at the same time independently started like finding the interest for it and started like searching for the old swing dance masters. And it was some US dancers and some British dancers and some Swedish dancers, mostly those three countries. So that's where this revival started in the UK and Sweden and US. So that's why we have a big community, because we had the swing since early 80s and been building a long time.
Were you always connected to the US, like also with tap dancing?
Well, how do you mean?
Because a lot of people tell me they did grades first. Like Anula, for example, was on the podcast and she said her like early tap dancing experience was completely different from what she knows now because they just learned little routines. Um, they didn't learn any of the history and stuff. Was it the same for you, or because it came from Lindy Hop, were you already more connected to all those things?
I think, I think I was more connected because this Lindy Hop is also like strong in tradition and honoring the masters, and I grew up watching all these old dancers from the swing era and whatever you could get your hands on, because there was no YouTube when I grew up. And it was, of course, as we know, all mostly white dancers. You could see some movies with Nicholas brothers, and they were then, of course, my favorite. So I tried to dance like them, like splits and I couldn't jump up the wall, but maybe some flips and splits. Uh, but yeah, it was. So that's same now. I can't do splits anymore. But like that's, I mean, that's who I look up to still. Nicholas Brothers, among others. But of course, it's so much wider now. So I wouldn't say that it was different or it has changed. It had just grew a lot with everything that you can do with tap dance. And as I say sometimes and feel, I mean, because when I started, I thought also, like many, oh, tap, that's a swing dance. It's part of the swing umbrella. And swing is a huge part, I feel. But tap can be almost any genre, anyway. I would say tap is jazz, always, it should be. But then, you, how do you define jazz? You can't. Eller, if you have to ask what jazz is, you'll never know. Like, was it Louis Armstrong who said? Yeah, I think it was Louis Armstrong who said.
Yeah.
So now I dance still swing music or swing feel swing rhythm, but it's so much more, and it can be almost anything. But I believe that I always put some jazz into it.
You went to this jazz school, didn't you?
I did a few years ago to. I mean, I always like to learn more and educate myself. So I went 1 year, half-time studies at the Royal College of Music, and it was not jazz specific. We were just learning about everything, music theory, and a lot. I think it was like music knowledge in theory and practice, if you like direct translate it. But we played a lot and sang, and you were able to try all these instruments, and it was a really good year. I learned a lot, and I use it a lot in my dancing now.
How did you start with the festival?
Well, it depends if you ask me or Larsa or Andrew. Because we all say that it was kind of my idea. And you ask Larsa, well, I first thought of it. Oh. Uh, no, but I guess we all had been thinking or started to think about doing something around the same time. And yeah, that was like in 2009 or 8, yeah. And I was talking to both of them, and then we got together and decided to do something together. And yeah, that's how it started. Because we wanted to learn more. Because we were getting into tap more. I mean, I was dancing, tap dancing, like 2-3 years, late teens, with the swing. Then we had a swing dance company where I grew up, so we were practicing all the time. But then I didn't dance at all for a couple of years, and then I got back into dancing and did professional education. But I didn't really tap at the time. There was no work with tap here.
Yeah.
But then, in 2008 something, I had started to get back into tap dance, and yeah, that was a lot. Not sure about times and dates. I don't know when YouTube came, but when it was possible to see more, like online, of what tap was. A lot of old clips that surfaced, and also learn about the masters of today that I had no idea about. And I saw that, and it blew my mind. But what is this? You can do this. So then I started to get back into tap myself. Mm.
Do you remember the first faculty of the first festival?
Yes, I do. It was J. Sam, Chloe, and was Roxanne. I think Michelle also.
Doran.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
Uh,
know them before? Or did you just
no,
message them like, "Hi, I'm Jonas"?
no, I leave all that to Andrew. He can he wrote them and still has the contact with the faculty.
But he
Uh,
didn't know them either. First.
no, he didn't know them. He is from the U.S. West Coast, so he had met some of them. He had met Jason and Chloe, and I don't know if Michelle and Roxanne. I don't think, but I know Jason and Chloe, because he was taking class with Jason in L.A. When he was growing up, or like late teens maybe or something. It's funny. I always like, how do you say in English? Can you swear in this podcast? Maybe not. I don't know how you. In Sweden, we swear all the time. Or I. No, I don't have to. But I mess with him, Andrew, because he was in class. Jason was teaching, and it was him and Chloe Arnold and Sarah Reich. And I always asked them, yeah, what happened, man? I mean, Chloe and Sarah, they're world top now. But what happened to you, man?
Oh,
But he was not aiming for that, like, professional career. But he had good feet and still has good feet, but he doesn't really dance anymore.
hmm. Yeah, I see more cooking posts than anything else.
Yeah, he landed a really cool job now, one of the top restaurants at the like finest hotel in Stockholm, their restaurant.
Nice.
Mm.
How did you start working professionally then as a tap dancer? Did you put on your own gigs? Did somebody hire you?
Own gigs, and it still is most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started 2008 9 to get back into it, it was almost no tap dancing in Stockholm, not in Sweden at all. So Larsa and Andrew and I started like cultivating the community. There had been a little bit in the 90s and a little bit like early mid 2000, because then it was two other swing dancers who also like got into tap dance a lot and did some stuff, but then they continued with other dance and music. So it had been like a few years with no one who was aiming for anything in a way. So yeah, in the beginning, I was like I was sleeping in the studio, really, and just dancing all day and night, and then after some time, when I felt that now maybe there's something that someone else can look at, like confident to show something, I started to like contact. It was a lot of the swing, because I have strong, like a lot of my old friends are part of the organizers and the teachers here in Stockholm. So I was like, can I come to your event? Can I come to your band gig and dance? So that's what I was doing a lot.
Mhm.
Mm.
And
And
they
then slowly it like grew, and now since a few years I am more or less living of of tap dance, only tap dance.
yeah, that's
Mm.
great. And do you teach as well?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot. It's mostly teaching still, I would say.
Mhm.
Oh, and the festival, because it has been growing also. So it's a lot of work. Andrew and I, who kept organizing it and do it now, the two of us. When we have a summer break, but it's almost it's like a year-round thing. Not full time the whole year, but you have to do some stuff, and then some months it's full time.
Yeah. How
Like
like
the month.
how, what kind of work do you have to do in order to organize a festival? Just for the for people that have never
We have
looked
to
behind
do
the scenes.
everything because it's just me and Andrew, so we do everything. We plan everything, contact the faculty, like arrange the agreements. We look at facilities, look at theaters, and yeah, set those renting deals all the time, and we make all the schedules, and we I do all the PR and like graphic design. What else? We lay. We will have help during the festival. Like the week of the festival, we have like 40 volunteers that helps us. But then we like lay. I don't know, a little bit different depending on what year, which venue we're at. But like 500-600 square meters of the tap floor. We produce the evening events, hire all the musicians, and produce the gala show, arrange with the theater, and yeah, we hire a lot of local dancers and musicians, so we have to set that up, and yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's mostly fun.
You are one of the only festivals that has those morning classes. Well, you used to be the only festival that had morning classes, and I think some people started copying it.
Oh,
With the, you know, where you had like not students, but you have like Europeans teach a session in the morning. How did you come up with that? Was it just to provide opportunities?
yeah, it was a lot of different reasons. I think, like a general vibe of the festival, we stole a lot from the harangue dance camp, because Andrew and Larsa also have the swing dance background.
Hmm.
So we have been a lot at harangue dance camp, like one of the top like festivals for swing dances. That is in Sweden. It's been for like 35 years plus, for 5 weeks every summer. And yeah, we stole a lot of their setup because it's a nice event.
Hmm.
It's fun and a lot of social stuff, and we had been at some festivals before, and they were not so fun and not so much outside the classrooms.
Hmm.
Mm.
Because with
So
Stockholm,
yeah,
like, you almost never leave.
no, you don't ever leave. That's awesome. No, yeah, and that's like a general vibe of the festival. We steal, as tap dancers do, but reshape it, make it our own, and incorporating because the main faculty is US, because I mean it's the African American art form, so most top dancers is American. But then we want to like build a community, and not just like build the Swedish community, but also like the European community in a way, and bring nice dancers. And a lot of them they have become are very like close friends. It's like the tap friends that you meet once or twice a year, so it's not often, but when you meet, it's like it was yesterday, and you get
Yeah.
close really fast. Yeah. So that's a way to be able for them to come also. I mean, it's a win-win. It's they are great dancers, and they teach some classes, and they also like participate in all the evening events with like cutting contest and battle and open stage and all that stuff. And they, because a lot of dancers, I mean, for myself, there's a lot of events I want to go to, but I can't because I have to work, or if I don't have to work, I still have to work to make money. Where I don't have money to go always. So this is also like a chance for some who wouldn't like maybe have time, money, everything to make it to Stockholm also. So I hope, it feels like they are very happy too, and we are very happy. So I hope it feels like a win-win. And students like are very happy too. I mean, it's great classes, and it's many of the top European dancers that have like their professional careers each in their own cities or countries where they live.
Nice. And how do you select the faculty? Is that Andrew? Or do
No,
you,
no.
the
He
American
just
faculty?
contacts them. Oh, it's. I mean, in the beginning, it was because he like had met some of them, and he is American, so it's like, I don't know, the minimize language confusions or whatever. It just happened that we had our different things that we did in the planning. But we of course we decide together,
Mm-hmm.
and there's also a lot of different aspects to that we look at, and the main thing I would say is the participants like wishes, and we talk to them a lot and ask, and after every festival we have a survey that all the participants can fill in, and so we see what they want, the people who are coming as students. And then it's also very important for us to have like a good mix
Mm-hmm.
of ages and styles, backgrounds, and yeah, everything. So I mean, they all are individual genuine artists, of course, but you can see some different what's that in English, like not focus, but areas or directions where they have taken their artistry in a
Mm-hmm.
way, like I don't know, for instance, anyone, or some are very strong, like jazz, bebop jazz, will maybe like a musical direction, and or like Max Pollack with the Afro-Cuban musical direction, and Oh, yeah, different. So it's a nice, good mix because we love like all tap dance, in a way, and there's good stuff in all styles, I would say, and it's nice to be able to bring all those different styles and show the people here like what you can do with tap dance and yeah.
Hmm. Um, how do you think? 'Cause how long did you have the festival? 10 years? Longer?
Yeah, last one that like we that vad heter det that we did before the pandemic, that was the 10-year anniversary, and that was in 2019.
Okay. So how do
And
you
now,
think?
sorry, yes, we had as everything, we had to cancel it now for 2 years, but we
Was
are
it 2 years?
yeah 2020 and 21.
Oh damn! Like I didn't
2 years, I know. It's like the time, the comprehension. It's like a lost 2 years or 1.5, and it just happened because we always do it during the Easter holiday.
Yeah.
Otherwise, maybe it might have been 1 year to cancel. I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's
that's
two.
right when the pandemic started.
Yeah, because 2020, everything was set. We had done all the work, and everyone had their ticket. Like all the students were set to come, because the
Yeah.
lockdown in came like 2-3 weeks before Easter.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't
Yeah.
even remember that.
Nah, I have like I had to consciously forgot about it. It was not fun. Like for a lot of people in the arts world or yeah, show business.
It's so funny because I feel like I was really busy in the pandemic. Um, but at the same time, I feel like I don't remember it as if it would have been real. I remember it like it was a dream or something like that. You know, when you remember stuff, but it doesn't seem real. 2 years.
Jo.
Crazy. All
Ja.
right. How do you think in the past 10 years the tap scene in Europe has changed?
I think it has grown a lot, actually. Uh, yeah, it feels like it has grown a lot and many new festivals and events. And it has like specifically, that's how you say it. Anyway, well, but with like online and internet, it has, because the world grows smaller. So it's also easier to connect and learn about the other communities. So that's maybe also part of it, that I learned about stuff that I didn't know. Because I mean, some places have had events for a very long time. I mean, even as long as since tap was a thing. It's like when it was same time as it was a thing in the U.S.
Mhm.
And a lot of the old masters came to Europe like during the swing era and also after in 50s and 60s. Uh, yeah, I would say maybe like Spain, France, and Germany had have had like dancers community for a long time, but maybe it was more separate, and now people know of each other and you travel more and you connect more.
So much easier now to also like advertise and beyond your own network,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
with YouTube and websites. Everybody can have a website.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh,
What do you have coming up? What are you working on currently?
I have some stuff actually. which is awesome. Some stuff that I've been thinking about for many years, but I haven't had the time for, in a way. I mean, you always have priorities, but it's just so much you can do. And I'm not complaining because it's been awesome to have more students and teaching opportunities, teach a lot. And also that the festival here has been growing. And all that has been, that's been like a full-time thing. And now then, when the festival has been cancelled twice, then I had time to plan other projects. So I have still been busy, and it's been very fun to be able to have that time. So it's two projects that's coming up, and the first one is like a trio that I started with two other musicians. It's a trumpet player and a bass player, upright bass, and we play music, and we have our premiere concert in like a month.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that gonna be?
It's in Stockholm at a like small black box theater place, and we play jazz, and then again, jazz can be a lot of different things, but we at least start in like swing, but mostly bebop jazz, and do a lot of old standards. And the other two musicians, great musicians, and I worked with them in the past, which is cool. So they like tap dance, and they have invited me to their projects because they want to tap dance. So that's really nice. Yeah, they're very open, and we have a nice connection, and a lot of improvisation, and it works well because we like understand each other, listen to each other. And then can also be like other stuff, or at least in the future, any music in a way, and you have put some jazz into it, I guess, because that's what we do. We're like jazz in the jazz. They are jazz musicians, so there's always some feeling of jazz, but it could be like Latin jazz is also jazz, but like maybe like Afro-Cuban, getting into some of that, Afro-Peruvian world music, I guess you call it, some, just to mix it up, have a nice dynamic in a concert, like Afro beat. So if you are in Stockholm, you are welcome. It's November 12th.
November 12th? At?
It's called Studio 8
Okay.
at 8 o'clock. Yes.
That's great. Are you gonna record an album?
I don't know. The other two musicians, they write music, and the trumpet player, Erik Palmberg, he just released his second album. Really nice stuff. And we will play one or two of his songs at the concert also, actually. I don't know if we will do an album. That would be cool, of course, but I would be further ahead in the future.
Yeah. And what's the second project?
It's a little bit bigger thing, I would say. More dancers and more musicians. So that's has a little bit like longer planning and rehearsal time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Tap på svenska, like tap in Swedish.
Yeah.
And it's like an homage to this classic Swedish album from early 60s by this Swedish jazz pianist Jan Johansson. Really amazing. And he was mixing Swedish folk music and jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're gonna do with this like concert performance show. And yes, it's a lot of Swedish folk music and songs, traditional songs that we rearrange, maybe change time signatures, and rearrange them to make them into jazz, Latin, world music feel. Oh,
Does
that's
Swedish
weird.
folk music have a lot of different time signatures?
No, in a way, it's. But the most common, I would say, is the waltz. I think, or at least as common as the 4/4 in the Swedish folk music. So yeah, a lot of 3/4 or 6/4 music
Mm-hmm.
traditionally, and some other music that has like uneven, like polska, that has like uneven time signature. It's the melody that goes, so you have to learn the melody, and then that's pretty new for me. So it's also a learning experience for me, which I'm very grateful for.
And you're using Swedish tap dancers for that?
Yes, it will be me and three others, Daniel Larsson, Vilma Kannanen, and Gustav Borehed.
I know Gustav, right?
Yeah, I think you met them all. They've been at the
Okay.
festival. Oh,
And you have
yeah.
a date for that? Or not yet?
Our preliminary some in March. Yeah. Now it's been all these application deadlines for the culture project grants,
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit on depending on that we'll decide when and so. But yeah, it will happen. It will happen. We have started a little bit already. I started with some choreography or composition, if you may call it that. At least rhythmic composition.
Yeah.
And then we will use that to continue with the arrangement of these songs. I have a pretty strong like rhythmical musical structure sense or feel, but I know nothing about like harmonics.
Mm-hmm.
The music studies I did, we learned a lot, but I mean to really to know that's the lifetime, and I'm still in the beginning. I mean I hear it a lot, I would say, and use it, but I can't do so much with it yet or ever. I'm happy with the rhythms also. Oh
But that's why you got musicians there to help
yeah,
arrange, right?
yeah, man, yeah. It's those the two musicians with the trio. They're part of this bigger project also.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, we the three of us are like doing all of these things together, and then we bring in the other artist for like rehearsals for the to get the finished production.
Nice. And you got,
Yeah, look
I've seen,
forward.
yeah, I've seen also that you posted that the festival's on again this year, next year.
Oh, that's the plan. Hopefully things continue to get better with the pandemic.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, we started planning for that. I mean, it's still a long time ahead. But this is normally we usually start earlier with the planning
Yeah.
after the summer. But in like aspect of the pandemic, it's like half a year or something. So hopefully it can settle more.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, so book it in your calendars and
Yeah, I
hope you
know.
can
Everybody book it.
everyone. It is always Easter holidays, and next year that was April 13th to 19th we do the festival.